Happy Saturday. You are listening to the Anyone Can Playwrite podcast show, and I'm your host, RK. You are on the Sacred Para Playland channel, and I just thank you guys for being with me on this beautiful and amazing journey as we journey together on the Adult Play Therapy Devotional. This is a 60-day soul cleansing devotional and journal. So thank you guys for being with me. Hi, Coach Play. Coach Play is my husband. You can check out his page on Instagram as well as on other social media platforms. He is a fitness trainer, personal trainer, nutritionist, a motivational speaker, an encourager, a friend, whatever you need. You can find those positive things in him. You can contact him on here for any of your nutritional questions, or if you need to have one-on-one sessions with someone virtually. He does work locally at a gym here, so you are getting a professional when you book him. So guys, we are on day 32 of this amazing journey. And like I said, anything that you are feeling right now as far as things just kind of pushing back on you in life, some obstacles that you may be going through, this is something that is normal, it's to be expected, but it's customized and tailored for you. You are more than welcome, King Emperor. Thank you. All right. That was my husband. He said, thank you, Empress. I love you eternally, too. All right, day 32. Day 32 says, practice breathing exercises on a routine basis. Practice breathing exercises on a routine basis. Why? Because a lot of times whenever we breathe, we actually do not breathe correct. We actually breathe very shallow. We don't take deep enough breaths. And when we get nervous or overwhelmed or stressed, that breathing becomes even more shallow and even quicker, which means that you're getting less oxygen into the brain and less oxygen into the blood. Your blood vessels are actually receiving less oxygen, which is why we can feel headaches, migraines. We can get even more stressed, more irritable, dizzy, because there's not enough oxygen being, breathe into the body. So it's really important to make a habit of breathing, of being, just completely honest, being more mindful about how we breathe. And you can find a lot of really good videos on YouTube about how to breathe. If you're already in yoga, you attend yoga classes, anything of that nature, there are a lot of different breathing styles that you can do. But even if it's just as simple as just taking that time to stop and breathe in the nose and then hold it, breathe in your nose for maybe like a count of 5 to 6 seconds. Sometimes it's 8 for those that are more on an advanced level, but anywhere from 5 to 6 seconds, and then hold that breath for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then breathe out again through the nose. Like I said, there are a lot of different styles of being able to do mindful breathing. But if it's just you simply doing that will allow that oxygen to get into the brain. And you want to do that repetitively. You don't just want to go, be like, I'm done. No, you want to actually do that for at least, I would say 5 to 7 times at a minimum to really get the sympathetic nervous system to slow down. All right, so this will help lower anxiety, regulate your blood pressure and organ function, as well as have multiple health benefits. There are so many multiple health benefits to just breathing. Even one of the things that we practice in our house, because anxiety takes place, overwhelmness takes place, but literally just taking that time to stop, to breathe. And it does help to diffuse the situation at hand, whatever it could be. Just anything that is going to kind of give you a little bit of anxiety or nervousness. It could even be coming in the room and your kids have blocks and Legos and action figures and Barbies just kind of thrown about with clay and Play-Doh thrown into hair. And you walk in on this and you feel like, how is this mess going to get cleaned up? And how did they do this in a matter of 20 minutes? between me making their sandwiches and going to the bathroom. And that can really produce a lot of anxiety, right? And you have to take that moment to breathe. Hi, thank you so much for joining Ken Legacy Dolls. I appreciate it. Now let's get into this journal prompt. In what ways was the meditational breathing exercises beneficial for you? In what ways was the meditational breathing exercises beneficial for you? So with this particular exercise, I want you to think about times when you didn't have the breathing exercises. And if you already practiced breathing, then just go back and look at times before you didn't practice breathing. How was it for you? Did you feel like your nerves were even more increased? Did you feel like, for myself, I'll use myself as an example, prior to really learning how to breathe proper and in a more beneficial way for my health, mentally, and for my health physiologically, I would get very much overwhelmed. My nerves would just be like way overboard. I would find that definitely had dizziness, definitely had way more migraines. I get them occasionally now, but not on the same level like I used to. I would get so worked up to the point where, if not that day, the next day I would feel sick because my nerves had gotten so bad. Whereas now, taking that time to breathe, I'm not saying like I'm 100%, I do this all the time, I remember. But whenever I'm able to really, for the most part, majority-wise, fall back to my, healthy habits, such as breathing, doing mindful breathing, it has dramatically increased my health on a positive way. It allows me to be more aware and make better decisions. I don't have verbal diarrhea of the mouth. Okay, because back before the breathing exercises, things overwhelm me. I walk in, I see Legos and all this other stuff just everywhere, and right? I became this very fast-paced 90s rapper, just saying all kinds of things, and some of it I meant and some of it I didn't, and some of it I really needed to check mentally before they just spit it out my mouth. And so now when you breathe before you even say it, you're like, and after you get done with that, 5 to 7 or even 10 count of breathing, and I'm telling you, those around you they'll look at you, but they'll stop. And you may have some people that are going to try to explain, like, hey, now this is what's going on. Most people respect that you're breathing because it's, they're like, okay, we don't want the green Hulk coming out. Adults or kids, both alike, they're just like, and then when you're like, whew, all right, I'm done. Clean this up. You avoid so much conflict, and there's so much greater levels of peace for yourself as well as for them. Whereas like a long time ago, I see a mess on the floor, I feel like I am responsible to get that clean. Although I didn't create it, it felt like it's on me. I'm mom, I'm here, I have to be the one to clean it. Now I walk in on it, I may feel overwhelmed, pissed off, but I breathe. And once I get done with my personal breathing session, however long it takes me, it's not dictated on someone else. It's not dictated on an adult. It's not dictated on family members. It's not dictated on children in my life, whatever the situation is. It's not even dictated on professionals. It's dictated on what's going to help me calm down. When I calm down, I'm able to realize this is not my responsibility. This is yours. You made the mess. I made the food. I have a right, biologically speaking and anatomically speaking, to go to the bathroom when I need to, just like you do. And that doesn't mean that I should walk into a mess. So if I walk into a mess, you are responsible to clean it up, which also means that you delay the time that you eat. I can eat because I didn't make a mess. You are now responsible for that. So it allows me to be able to see who's really responsible and who really does need to do the cleanup versus me just, I have to clean this up now. I have to do this. I have to do everything. No, Mom, you don't. And no, to you, human, you don't have to do it. You don't have to be the one to do the cleanup. You don't have to be the one to do this and do that. That is someone else's responsibility. And it was not until having these sessions with mindful breathing that I learned it. And quite honestly, having babies taught me. because when I would have my babies, especially during like delivery time, I'd be so nervous. And you hear so many horror stories. Thank you so much for joining the Lori Lee Barbie. I appreciate it. You hear so many horror stories when it comes to delivery time. And I would be nervous and anxious. And as many of you know, my husband and I, we have 10 kids. So I've literally given birth 9 times because we have twins in there. So, that was get one and get another one at the same time. I don't really have a good slogan on that one. But yes, I've given birth 9 times to 10 amazing children. And each time, for the most part, was very nervous, and every delivery was different. And I always had my husband by my side who was like, breathe. He's like, breathe in through your nose. Hold it. Breathe out. Just very good. He's an all-around coach. I mean, this right here is the profession he should be in, most definitely. But encouraged me and helped me to breathe, and helped everything in me to just calm down and to shift. And that was extremely beneficial for each one of those babies to be born, because it allowed smoother delivery process for them, allowed their heartbeat to calm down and their blood pressure to be, regulated. And the same thing with myself. Allowed my blood pressure to regulate, and allowed my heartbeat to slow down, and allowed me to be taken off of the oxygen mask, because many different deliveries I had the oxygen mask on. And so the oxygen mask, while trying to push, is not a fun experience at all. And it encouraged me even more for future deliveries to breathe, so I wouldn't have to have the oxygen mask on. My husband would be like, you don't want the oxygen mask, so let's breathe. So breathing is so important, and really does allow you to have a special state of mind in your body and in your just overall well-being. So I encourage you today to breathe, and to breathe in the proper way, not those quick shallow breaths or breathing from our chest, and we call ourselves breathing from our diaphragm. That's not really breathing. That's why so many of us have sinus and congestion issues, because we breathe right here. And we feel our chest move up and down, and we think, oh yeah, I'm breathing. Your breath should really come from your lungs. It's going to come from like the diaphragm down below. You should feel your stomach just rise like a balloon when you take an inhale. It should just, I can't really show you, but your stomach balloons out, and then you hold it, and then you release. And that stomach just deflates, just like a balloon, just decreasing it with air. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Make it a habit. And the more that you make it a habit, you'll find yourself just naturally breathing the proper way and have way less sinus and congestion issues. I promise you. Just look up all the benefits. There's lots of them. All right, guys. Happy Saturday. Thank you again for being with me on the Anyone Can Playwrite podcast show. You guys rock, and I thank you for being my IG family. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.